Is this Bitcoin drop worth buying? I mean, that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you look at it from the 15th, about 2 days ago, Bitcoin is down about 4.5%. I've been calling for this for the past week, basically telling you don't trade crypto this week before you watch this. Bitcoin is going much lower. If you're confused about what I'm saying, explain exactly what I mean and what is actually unfolding now. We put it up here. You can watch it later. If you haven't watched, it's going to be crucial for today. So after this video, watch that. But ultimately, here's what I'm looking at, and I'm also going to tell you exactly what pattern I need to see for me to start buying this, and potentially what I've been saying is not coming completely into fruition. So I have shorted up here. I told you about this again here on the channel, in the Telegram community, which is free if you don't know who I am. My name is 𝗏𝗏. I do these updates 5 minutes every single day, charting, making money. Subscribe if you like that. But the reason why I've said that, and the reason why I made this post as well, is where I basically said that this is one of the cleanest high time frame setup that I've ever seen or seen for a long time, is because it just makes sense for this to reject here. We have a 4-hour supply zone happening. From the 4-hour supply zone, we had a lower low formed on the total market cap, still reclaimed this swap liquidity, and now rejecting from that level. A very, I couldn't be here, so I didn't drop an update here. I had my kid had to go to the hospital, so I've been there. But if you look at this, and I posted this in the community as well, it's not only a market structure shift. There is 3 consecutive candles to the opposite direction, then a close above there and the reversal, but it's also an AMD, accumulation, manipulation, and distribution, right? If you don't know what that is, check this video out. So the big thing about this is that it's a textbook rejection in a textbook higher time frame supply zone after a textbook liquidity sweep with a textbook fair value gaps. This is a textbook on top of the textbook setup, right? So because of that, I also took a bigger risk. I told you that I have, because of my mistakes, I've simply blown my live account. So I started this account yesterday, and I took 2.5% risk on the account, now up about 7%. And this here is from a scalp like this, and also from the 15-minute chart here, right here into the supply zone when it retraced, and also with the swing trade that I have. So I do run both of these trades. Let me just go to trade. So you will see I have 2 entries. One of them is the one that I shared on the show, and the other one is the 15-minute scalp entry. So I have an entry up here at about 64,730, which is basically up here 760 whatever, and then I do have this here, the 64,500, which is after the 64,500 after this retrace up here. So what do I see, and why? What would I need to see for this to not continue lower, and not for Bitcoin not to hit down below 58,000? A couple of things. One of them is I cannot distribute. This is why I also have 2 charts that I always open, because then you have a clean chart that you can start with. And if I look at this chart on the 4-hour chart, I see a clear uptrend, right? So I see a clear uptrend coming up here. Coming up here. There is a market structure shift here, some sort. There is no close below here, so it doesn't count, but whatever. And then you have a retrace, and then you have a high make and the retrace, and a high make and the retrace, and then you would expect this to continue in an uptrend, right? Now, this can happen, and it can play out. The only reason why I don't think that is going to happen is because of what we discussed regarding the high time frame supply zones. So the 4-hour, this is the only level, and this is what I explained on the video that you should watch later. We put it up in the beginning, but also going to put it at the end, is that this supply zone is the only place where there is 3 consecutive green candles. There is no 3 here, no 3 consecutive here. There is 1 here, but then there is no break below, not even a wick below. So this doesn't count. There is no break below here. Therefore, what this level says is that this is where the real supply happened. This is where it really happened. So the rejection that is happening on the 1 hour happens exactly where it should. It has a accumulation, manipulation, distribution, beginning phase. I would not be surprised if it comes back a little bit, 2.18, and then continues lower. This is what I would expect throughout the weekend. So the reason why I think this is bearish is because of what I just explained. It is the 4-hour supply zone. We have a clear accumulation, manipulation, distribution on the top of that supply zone on the 1-hour chart. We have a rejection from there. Massive fair value gaps created here, 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 some of them are filled here. So some of them are filled, some of them aren't. But ultimately, I do believe that this is great enough for me to say that we are going lower. Now on London, we do have a pump here that is probably not going to last, maybe up to the 2.18 and then continuation lower, right? This is what I see on Bitcoin as well. Potentially a continuation up to this 64,000-ish level. That happens, and then potentially a continuation lower. Now, there is a market structure shift happening at 63,700. That is something I'm going to pay attention to. So I might close some of my positions if we get there. I'm going to update you in the community. It's literally a free thing that I share my thoughts in, charts and everything else. You can just see I share all my trades and everything here. It's free. So just join the link in the description. That said, why this can potentially be the reversal and why it might actually be worth buying this. Well, if I go back onto the total market cap chart, right, and I take the same explanation that I did now, and I just delete everything, and I say, yeah, well, look, it is true that we are in a massive supply zone here. It is true, right? Okay. Well, it is true that we do have a 1 hour market structure shift, but what do I actually need for a 4 hour retrace and the continuation? Well, I need a 1 hour market structure shift. So if I go into the 4 hour chart and I start marking these levels and I say 1, 2, 3, 4, right? If I start looking at this, then I go here and I'll see a 1 hour market structure at these levels. So I can see a market structure shift. Guess what? You see it here. Guess what? You don't really see it. It is just a textbook setup. You don't really see it. There is no 3 consecutive candle. Here it could be considered, but then it got overtaken. So you don't really see it. I mean, what I wanted to say, my point was gonna be that it can be that it just comes back to this supply zone and that and then it starts targeting these high time frame supply zone on the daily, which resulted in a close below. It could happen, but also like I think the market, there was built up liquidity here, as I posted on the higher time frame chart on X as well. I mean, you can't really ignore the fact that Iran is being bombed like crazy the past 6 days. The market didn't react at all. Now everything is selling off. So ultimately, we could see a bounce here. I rather see this happening like this, go down 60,000 and then a bounce from there, if a bounce, and then potentially rejecting from the daily and going ultimately down and marking the bottom August, September, October, November, somewhere there. But it can happen that we bounce from here, come a little bit higher, and then reject from there. If that happens, I will need to see at least a 15-minute market structure shift. Then I need to see at least a very, very strong push on New York today. If it doesn't happen, the weekend is probably going to be bombing. I don't think the weekend is going to be manipulated to the upside. Now, I also posted this, and I want to take a moment here. Oh, I wanted to, before I do that, it's very, very important what I'm going to say. But before I do that, I wanted to tell you that Bitfunder is still running a 50% off, meaning all these accounts, I have this $150,000 account. Again, I screwed up I withdrew $2,500 from my live account, so basically it's risk-free. But you can get 50% off on all challenges. All you need to do, if you don't have an account yet, click claim, sign up, buy it. You're gonna buy it for 50%. And if you already have an account, you just simply log into your account, and then you can just go click here. You can just go onto this. You can just go on markets, and then, or you can just go on new challenges, and you'll be able to buy these new challenges. You see 50% off, 50% off. So go and check that out. It's gonna be live for another 2 days if they don't run out of the 1,000 accounts. So they only have 1,000 accounts. So go and check that out. But what I wanted to say is that I saw this. And I want to yap here for 2 seconds because I'm tired. And I'm also tired in general. Lots of things happening in the background you don't see. I'm tired of that as well. Completely tired. But I'm also tired of the fact that I make a post like this, and then people come in here and then they start saying, that's a gamble, good luck, stop revenge trading, monthly only matters, back to bed you go. Like, fuck off. Like, genuinely. If you don't think this is correct, then move on. Move on. I'm just so tired of whether I'm right or wrong. People just coming here, complaining, saying that they think they are smarter. Bro, then post your trades. Just go and post your trades, start a YouTube channel, start talking about it. Stop coming here, stop commenting, stop being stupid. And if you share your thoughts and have an explanation, there was someone here who said, I think it's different, I see it different. This is okay. Like, it's fine. Share your thesis, that's fine. But don't be a dick coming here saying, oh, bet you go, and, you know, that's a gamble, when you don't know what you're talking about. Also, this is just what I'm telling to those people as well. The bottom is in. Big bottom is in, okay? Everything is falling, and trust me, it is going to fall more, in my opinion. So guys, that said, just be a little bit, you know, nicer. If you want this content continuing, you know, freely and whatever, do that. Oh, and we have a big trading competition coming up tomorrow. Big trading competition. So it is pinned in the Telegram, but basically there is Trade Stars. They are partners here on the channel, and we do a competition specifically for our community where if there is 108 people who trade, everybody comes out at least break even. So there is about 50% who joined already. So if you join, you literally can't lose, because if there is 108 people, 108 people are going to win at least $30, which is the entry fee. So you're going to be, worst case scenario, back at break even. But the first prize for a $30 fee can get $1,000. Last trading competition we did, someone won $4,000. It's actually crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, it's 100x your money. Over 100x. Anyway. Second prize $500, third prize $251. It is pinned in the Telegram, but also I have it here in the description. So if you're gonna come down onto the description, you have to click more if you're on the phone. But when you're gonna come here, there will be 2 links. One of them is going to be if you don't have a TradeStar account. It's gonna be tomorrow at I don't know what it is. What is it? It's 2 o'clock GMT in the afternoon, 9 a.m. EST, and 3 o'clock Central European time. So 2 links. One is going to be if you don't have an account, you can click and sign up and have an account, and then you will be enrolled immediately. You buy $30 worth of stars, and then you 6 stars, and you enroll immediately. Or if you already have an account from the last time, we're gonna have a Zoom session and all this stuff. It was fun. If you already have, there will be a link in the description. You can check the previous stream. You can just click on this to the table, and you will immediately land on the table, and then you can just click on join the table, and you will be added to the table, and you'll be able to join us. All right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This show ran a bit long. I hope to see you all tomorrow. I hope to see you on the Zoom. Join in. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And I want to win the $1,000. That's what I want, to be honest. But you might have a chance. So come and trade it with us and the community. Take care. Ciao, ciao.